Hello, my name is Jakara and I am an energy healer. And so this is your collective energy read. So you know that this is for you. Your keywords are going to be instinct, flexibility. Your bottom card is responsibility. Couple things when I was trying to get started channeling in. I felt like I need to breathe, and even now, it's like this, almost like this sense of not that I can't breathe, but like it feels like it takes more for me to feel like I'm truly inhaling or getting enough breath before I can kind of relax. So if I'm breathing throughout this thing, there's just this sense of almost not getting enough air, not feeling like I'm truly expanding my lungs, and that could be a reference to maybe you feel kind of stuck or like you're not expanding in whatever it is in regards to your life. Another thing is that I was having trouble writing, and normally that's nothing, but my first thought was dyslexia. So someone might have dyslexia. So for your energy read, I always make a physical body and I just kind of pinpoint whether or not where the energies work. And sometimes that could be where you've had a physical in the 3D world, could be in this life. Usually it's in regarding to this life, where you're having some type of pain or whatnot, could be past, or it's also for just energy where you store. Most women do tend to store a lot of emotional trauma, usually parental, like maternal, in their hips. Not everybody, but they do. I do. And so it could just be like that. So all we're going to do is kind of clear that out, shift, work through. So you're just going to kind of go with me as I do it, okay? Okay. I'm not catching enough air. It doesn't feel like I'm expanding enough. And that's interesting that that's a focus point, because in your areas that we're going to focus on, it's like a teardrop shape. I don't normally draw teardrop shapes, but so it's a teardrop shaped in this area, covering basically what's going to be your third eye or your sixth chakra, and then up here. I know that the crown is more in here and then a higher one right here, but up here, your whole body is made of energetic points. And so in this space up here, you also have a point that needs to be reached. So kind of where this is laid in here. In your heart, so again, teardrop shaped in your heart. And then also what would be considered your solar. So you have like energy coming down and it's pretty flowing through. It's coming down and then it ends up, as I drew it, like a block. So it feels like there's a block in this area, which makes sense for why I feel like I'm just not catching enough air. I'm not expanding enough. For some reason, it doesn't feel enough. And then from that point, it's pretty much flowing the way I drew it. And then it starts to get wiggly from the heart to the solar. So we can look into why that's the case, but usually that's also a sign, or it is a sign, that the flow between, this space and this space isn't as free flowing. Which usually makes sense, because a lot of how we see ourselves, are somewhat our personality is kind of stored in the solar, like who we are, our confidence, our assertiveness, our outlook on life is reflected back to us, and the value that we see in ourselves. And if that value isn't quite matching up, there can be some kind of blocks between the heart space and your solar, or it could be something else. As I said, we will look. 4 minutes in, not bad. I do try to be mindful of how long it takes me to get into the energy, but usually as I'm talking, I'm getting into the energy. I do want to mention that there's one card that flipped over, and it was this card. But I didn't feel the need to tell you the word or put it as a keyword. So cheetah might be important, but also with it being this yellow color, it could just be, again, solar being reflected as something to be mindful of, and this card right here as well. So let's get into it. Where do we start? In the heart. That is good. Yeah, releasing. By yawning, I yawn to release. I yawn to release any blocks or just kind of negative energies, just kind of changing the frequency to I or one through yawning. Or doing that because that's also a way, because you're vibrating your body while doing this, so you can do it too, but also the sound vibration also can help break up any kind of thing. So let's do it together, and 3, 2. For as long as you could have done it. If someone might have outdone me, so good job. Aerto mahe kiro toro ela heti nikira era se la shikira kai te meroro orukila hiro. I am starting to feel just a little bit like I can breathe a little bit more, just a little bit. I don't feel like I need to take these deep breaths like I'm trying to consume air because I'm not getting enough. Let's see. What is this block? We always have familial wounds in our heart space. And I know that may seem crazy, but the way we receive these wounds isn't always as traumatic, right? It could just be as you're a kid, your mom was on the phone and she didn't want to listen to you. That in itself, however simplistic it may seem, could have caused some type of wound that then is held on to. Now, what it's related to, I don't know. I believe in energy work with spiritual and physical. See a therapist for that, okay? I believe both is necessary when you're living this kind of life. If you're not full throttle into doing energy work on yourself, and even then we still have people that we talk to, and they may not be certified therapists, but they take that place of sharing our wounds and being heard if you have someone like that. But if you don't, seek a therapist to help with parts of you that feel misaligned or that it's brought up to be reflected. So I'm just doing the work on the heart now, which is quite interesting. For this collective group, I usually get kind of specific a little bit as to what I see, but really it's just doing the energy work itself here. So that's beautiful. You're beautiful. Now we're gonna move. So my Bluetooth just went off. I have vibrations and energy on my hands right now. And it said power off. So who needs to turn their inner power back on? Their self-assertiveness, their self-love, their self-expression, their creativity. Yes, the solar is also a place of creativity, but it's more in line with self. Who's not aligning with themselves, who feels out of body or out of mind within themselves? My hand is slowly raising, so definitely someone. And my first thoughts were, how someone, people who work out and they get those abs, so they have people punch them. This is also something you can do to yourself with me. It feels like almost a little bit of DMT. I don't really know what that is quite, but I know like where you tap therapy type thing. Almost is what it feels like. So do with me if you like. 3, 2, Okay, let's see. Yeah, for this collective group, it's really just doing the energy work in the space, not really seeing anything visually. Although there's a cat. Lord. He's like laying down, looking out like a window. He's like sitting in a particular way where his paws might be a little bit turned to the left, and he's like more like this. And it's gonna be like a gray. He looks like that darkish kind of brown tan, but not brown, but like this tan that has that gray hue between brown and gray. Oh, and then he's like striped, so it's like black, but it's like, it's not like a striped zebra, right? It's just kind of the variation of the fur. He's going to be gray, that color of brown, gray, and black. Like you can little black striped strips of hair throughout the body, as well as white tipped paws, white belly. That wanted to come through very clearly. So all I'm doing is the energy work to clear out. I'm not getting what it's about, why I'm doing it. And that's okay, because I told myself that I would do collective energy heals, and I would do them every day. So it could be that they're giving me a break, because when I do collective energy heals, I transmute through my body, as well through everything, other senses that I use. And it can be quite aligning or misaligning. What I can do one day, I may have to do another day. And then I have to take a couple like breaks for several days before I can do another one. And Spirit's like, we're not letting you do that now, since you agreed to do this energy work every day. They're not letting me get away with taking breaks, not for a little bit. And I need that in my life. So yay, thank you. Thank you for letting me be able to connect with your collective energy and to do the work. I'm so grateful. I feel such like a giddiness, and I felt this whole way. So somebody could be quite giddy, and then it's shifting into a sadness. It's shifting to a sadness, it's not grief. It's more like feeling kind of fed up with feeling alone, fed up with feeling misunderstood. Discombobulated is coming through, fed up with shouting, fed up with trying to prove, which could be some blocks here, prove yourself, prove your worth. Why isn't anyone seeing me? Because you don't see yourself yet. Yes, you may look at yourself in the mirror every day, but do you really see yourself? Do you really feel yourself? And this is something I'm working on, so that's something that I just recognize. Clearing out. And I just asked Spirit if we were done with the solar, and they said just a little bit more. And here we are again with the opposite hand. Gotta be a reason, because there's energy all over my hands right now. Breathe. Obviously, you're not trying to get abs through ab punches, so you don't have to smack your stomach hard. Light taps, but hard enough that the vibrations and you feel them, you know? Something about feeling them is important. Could be your feelings, could be your emotions, could be you're suppressing them. I'm not quite ready to put my hand down yet. I'm looking into, clearing. What this? Interesting. All right. If you're able, I would stomp your feet a little bit. just kind of help to release in a downward motion. I've already set the intention for it to go down into Mother Earth to be transmuted for the greatest good, or just down. Mm, 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 mm. All right, someone could have mood swings. That's okay. I don't think being in your emotions and fluctuating in and out of emotions necessarily has to be categorized as mood swings, but I think acknowledging how quick you fall in and out of those waves is something to look at. And I don't feel that it's this quick change. I really think that maybe you view them as mood swings because maybe during one moment you feel really good and the next you're crying. I think from what I'm feeling in its connection is that there's just a sense of release, and this release is coming in waves. It's coming in numbness and then release. It's coming in sadness and despair. It's coming in, I feel confident that I'm making the right choices. It's coming in confidence. It's coming in raising the vibration of feeling okay. I'm starting to feel myself. I'm going to make these moves, and then it might flow back into sadness, or it might flow back into numbness. And I think it's because there's a release happening. Water for me is something that's really great for release. Outside, what is your release factor? What makes you feel safe, and what feels relaxing after you do it? And in that space, a comfortable space where you're just you and can feel those emotions, release them in that space that you quantify as sacred, as you quantify as something that helps you to feel better, release, and kind of resetting yourself back into alignment. Highly suggested. Water for me, so showers are the best. But even creeks, sticking my feet in creeks also helps whenever water's around. Last one is going to be up here in this beautiful spot of yours. And like I feel it, it's connecting up. And I see like a circle and then a connection. So there is someone who is around you and talks to you frequently. I'm getting a loved one of this lifetime, so someone that would have passed in your life, but I'm not getting that it was recent. It doesn't feel recent. It just feels like ancestors, but not that far back. They feel very current to you, like grandparents, and that energy has been coming up when I do certain readings. Let's do it. Let's look into it. So this one actually has a visual of like an actual amethyst stone, the teardrop amethyst stone, which is quite beautiful. The stone has been split open, and then I'm going into the crystalline structure of this stone. Extremely powerful stuff, I'll tell you that. There's a part of this stone that's different from the others. It's going into a different area of what I'm trying to access energetically. And it's looking more like some type of rock, kind of like Colorado canyons, those rocks. And it just looks like a circle that's been beaten, like indents all throughout, circle indents all throughout. This area, which is different from the rest of the crystalline structures of the amethyst, which is far different. We're gonna go ahead and see what that's about. I'm doing this as an energetic way to help me break what I just described. Okay, because I was deep. Because I was deep in the energy, sometimes coming out just takes me a moment to be able to come back into full consciousness, full body. Okay, so inside this rock is kind of like opened up almost like a trap door, and it leads you down into like this tunnel. And then at this point the energy stopped, so I don't think I'm meant to see or access really more than that. But what I'm doing right now is that I'm just clearing out that tunnel. It feels like an access point. It feels like that's what it was, hidden information. That's what they had said. I almost forgot it because I'm just receiving, right? And being, it's multiple things. Okay, so hidden information. And what I mean by clearing out this tunnel is that it feels like there's blocked off access to this information because it has not been the right time, or you have blocked off whatever this information is. But trust and believe, I can't do anything that you don't want me to do. So you are in alignment with accessing and addressing whatever this information is. But this information is not for me to know, and it's not for me to play with. So all I'm doing is creating a safe space inside this connective work, right? This is just a scripted way, but the energy itself. And I am elongating, but just connecting the space into a more, think of like an old tunnel that hasn't been touched in however many years, like thousands of years, right? And back then there were no, like, let's just say light bulbs, right? So you can't see, and there's nothing but littered and debris. So essentially I'm clearing that out, removing what has kept this hidden information for whatever reason, what has kept it this way and kept it blocked. And I'm just clearing out that energetic space and opening, releasing. I'm just giving it to you in a visual form. I'm wording it to you in a visual form. I'm acting it out in a visual form because it's a little bit easier to hold on to. Well, for you guys. Sometimes I could just scoop my hand in the air and pick up strings of energy. So it really just depends. But for you guys, in the way that I'm choosing to do this energy work, to be more relatable and to be more receptive, I am trying to dig into what like aligns with you. Oh my goodness. All right. That's pretty much it for you guys, which was really great. It was just kind of healing the energy connection points and opening and aligning them a little bit more. It's phases and stages, and you're at this stage where you're ready for it. And whether or not you see this video, know that it's being done. But if you see this video, it's just a clarifier of what's going on in your life, and maybe why you feel certain ways. And now I'm just putting gentle energy as a way so that you integrate this in a way that does not cause any extreme shifts of emotions within you, that you can stay in a space of regulated, not overstimulated, and that what you need you will receive in the time and place that you need it in, and not be overwhelmed by it. Because when you receive too much energy at once, it can affect you even if you don't realize it, and it can show up in unexpected ways. I'm ready to dig in, even just today, and I was like, and so I sleep in front of a lot of mirrors. And I also have something that truly, I don't know why I'm going faster, truly enhances, slow please, truly enhances energy, magnetic waves, electric waves, all those things. I don't know, I'm not, whatever. I know what I know, even if I can't word it. It's crazy. I gotta do some more education for myself so I'm able to give it to you in a better way. And I asked to do it with the mirrors, and Spirit was like, nah, don't. Right? I was like, why? Why not? It's not in my best interest. And they're like, no. And it's not simply because I would take on so much energy And when I woke up, because I wouldn't be in the same state that I would have been in while I was doing the energy, when all the energy comes and floods back into my conscious space, I won't really know how to handle it. Even if I think that I do, if they're telling me that I'm not quite ready for that, or don't do it because of the outcome that it would create, then I'm going to trust that. I'm going to trust myself, even if I want to dive in and get it all and snatch it all up in one. Right? Sometimes you can't do that. You have to allow patience. You have to allow the slow, because sometimes what's something that you want to yank, the string will snap. And you have to go extremely slow so you don't snap the string. And love, when you are doing a great job, you are opening up, you are allowing with instinct and flexibility. It's definitely saying that you are following your guidance, yourself, your instincts. Keep doing that. Don't do it so much where you have to feel like you can't get enough air. Okay, breathe. Thank you so much for letting me be able to do energy work. I love it. It is my passion and my heart, and I mean that with a passion. Thank you so much.